Yeah, I'm waiting for my grandkids to be dropped off, so I wasn't going to do one of these, but I'm awake. I dug out one of my favorite coffee cups from storage, and I picked it up in New England at the Red Arrow Diners, and it's one of those heavy coffee cups. I love it. It's thick and heavy. I like them. But I'm gonna talk about every so often something pops up on the Twitter. It's popped up a couple days ago, but I've been busy, and it's about coinage and Gygaxian wisdom or whatever. It's one of those rules in the DMG or suggestions that no one ever used. That is money conversion to local mint. That is way to a lot of stuff in there. And lots of Gygax was to just drain money from characters because AD&D handed out a lot of coin. So you paid for training, you paid for this, but this tax. And anytime I've instituted a tax in a game, the players lose their shit. They will do anything except give the local lord coin without, they go for pure modal hobo. Your lawful tops stop being lawful, stop paying their taxes. They just don't want to do it. Greedy, greedy, greedy. But the money conversion makes sense, right? I'm using Dark Citadel, and it has a rule for the Usurper's city, right? Not come on. Yeah, it's Dragonspawn Citadel or something like that. I forget. My memory is terrible. And they require all coinage and commerce in town to be in the mint. And I got it right down the description of the copper, the silvers, right up to the crowns, right? I think it's platinum crowns, with his name on it, wearing a crown, and then like scepters. I think I forget. I got them all written down because I made multiple dominations for multiple things. So I made them for the dungeon they're in. So the Dark Citadel coinage, where the dwarves are there, they're there, and they're all regular sizes. I was inspired by those coins you can buy online. People mint them up themselves, and they're in octagons and triangles. So it's all based on that. And one of the clues early on, which no one got, was the boats, copper boats. So the copper coins had boats on them on an underground river, and they didn't realize that. And they go all through the thing, and they got all these copper coins, and I described them, and they get down to where the river is, and it's like, wait a minute, this doesn't go down? We have to go down a river? And there was boats on the coins in the Dwarf Citadel. Yeah. And then they were from Duranus. So I made Duranus coinage. So there's coinage from the town they're from and the town they're at. And that has to be converted in the human citadel. They did not like that. And since they had a merchant contact as one of their adventure hooks, they simply said, how much for you to do it for us? And that guy invested in putting a community at the top level of the Mega Dungeon. A day's ride from the human settle, and they trade in dwarven coins and other coins. They don't care. So they send a caravan back to Duranus, which is 2 weeks there and back, rather than deal with the humans, which inadvertently has made them enemies with all the merchants in the town, because the power behind the throne are the merchant class. But the usurper rules the place with an iron hand. Also, because he sees his throne through assassination, resurrection and raising the dead is illegal in that city. So there's no getting raised deads from those guys. It's illegal. The church will be sacked, and the persons who perform the raised dead and the people raising from the dead get killed. Dead is dead in that town. So, and now they're down deeper And one of the main exports from the dwarf area was the gemstones. They were known for their, and these are lower level gems, so they're finding tons of 10 gold piece gems. And that is taken at face value. So the 10 gold piece gem is the $10 bill everywhere they go. So they become a big fan of trading in blue quartz and tourmaline, or how you pronounce it. But they've gotten deeper, and now they've discovered underdark currency. So all the electrum and platinum they're getting is not any denomination. And the trade in that draws suspicion, as it should, because the coinage for the drow mint is always related to a house. The number one fact is it's to the house, it's to the drow. Right? It's got drow stuff all over it. And then the house would be, each house mints their own coin because it's advertising the power of the house. So the more people trade in their merchant coins, the more prestige of that house. In my opinion, that's how I've been doing my drow. Because remember, in Descent and stuff, there was tons of drow merchants in the Underdark. In this region here, they're coming up and they are trying to figure out what underground forces, Underdark forces, had aided in the destruction of the Dark Citadel. They got a little quest for it. They found a bunch of drow coinage. Nothing's really come of it yet. So that's the main thing. But yeah, 5%, it's not that bad to convert your coinage. That also means if you are plundering, and this is the other adventure hook I had, is the more coinage they brought into town from the dungeon and converted, the more interest it would create in town for other adventuring groups, which they didn't do. So they're keeping on the down low a little bit, which was interesting. But now they've established strongholds, so they got some fame, and now they're on the radar of the usurper who doesn't trust them. And the evil human temple they found as they went through a few levels down at a secret entrance to the surface, they've run afoul of an evil cult, and they are hiring assassins to kill them. So they're on a death list for the assassins guilds. And they did learn earlier on, which I don't remember, that there were at least 2 assassins guilds in this town. 2. And they all have big prices on their head. So even more reason to avoid the human town. There's also some other merchants, and they were employed who are now backing adventuring groups to go in there, and they've broke a relationship with those merchants. Those merchants have started a whisper campaign. But yeah, the coinage thing, do it. It is such a pain in the ass. It is such a pain in the ass, and my players hardly ever note the denomination of the coinage, which is getting kind of aggravating. I told them, and I put the parentheses right next to all the coinages divided out, and they just, not going to mention that, so I could use it anywhere. But all the interpersonal stuff in the place, you can pay your guys coinage, and if they got to go to town to get 5% loss, that's on them, right? So they don't worry about that. But yeah, my 2 cents is do it. Now, if you're running 7 people, 8 people, I don't recommend it. I don't. If you have a small group of 3 to 4 players, absolutely do it. And tax them. Have them hate taxes as much as we do. A 10% tax at the gate for coming back from the dungeon. What is this? This looks like a fell item of unknown origin. This is abyssal. We may seize it. No, you're not taking my wand. It looks terrible. It's not. It's my wand of flowers. But yeah, I'll throw that out there. The coinage thing is always fun to work with, but they will start investing in gems. But if they buy into gems, make sure they're not getting the full base value of the gem. Gems should be sold over value, and they should be bought under value. Everybody's gonna make a profit. Just watch a couple episodes of Pawn Stars. Get the idea. Turn all your dudes into Pawn Stars. You're like, no, I got to cut a profit. Yeah, so I recommend it. I got some other NPCs that I worked on really hard in that town, and they just did not go. I have a whole thing with a vampire in the city. No one cares. They'll never encounter that guy. But yeah, coinage thing and taxes are a way to drain coinage from your party or add a bit of realism or political intrigue. They did pay for some services with the platinum because the guy was a researcher, so he broke the law in order to get some of these rare coins, because you don't see drow platinum pieces every day in the surface. So he took that for services rendered and hopes it never gets to the ear of the money lender, the tax man, or the usurper, because that would be bad. Like the forfeiture of 50% of your goods, you know. We're seizing 50% of everything just as penalty. Actually, technically walking around in town with other countries' denominations in your pocket after 24 hours is a crime. So they've never gotten caught, but you know, we'll see. Anyway, Merry Christmas, y'all. I'm going to maybe make 1 or 2 videos this morning, little short ones, and then get to cooking, because you know I hate cooking. Later, y'all.